said, which is Amy's daughter, said, don't forget to send it to her. I'm like, okay. Noah brought me a dozen roses. This is a
I
new
love it, sister. Here's a hint about your mom's family.
My son.
Like, I really need
All right,
to know
we can
a
all
hint
stand
about
for the pledge.
Yes. Yes. It's Delilah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Call the meeting to order, the May 12th, 2025 Morgan Township Trustee meeting. Can I get a roll call?
Yes. Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from April 28th?
I'd like to approve the minutes for the April 28th, 2025 trustee meeting. Second?
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And I get a motion to approve the warrants?
I'll make a motion to approve the warrant list payment listing, 4/29/2025 through 5/12 of 2025, payment number 347-2025 through 392-2025, and warrant number 13167 through 13188 for a total of $107,085.11.
Second?
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right, go to the fire chief's report with Assistant Chief Griffith.
Okay, number one is a storage room at the community center update. Tom had asked us to make some room for the Historical Society to store some of their documents. They have begun that, it is cleaned out. They have come back to the fire department and asked us to give them more room. They want the other wall now also. We gave them 2 walls, but they feel they need a third. Chief and I have no problem with that. I just wanted to make sure, if that's okay with you, we're going to go ahead and give them that wall too. And hopefully that will suffice their needs, because they'll give them almost the entire room. So
Is it cramping you, or do you?
we'll make it work. We did a lot of, the next 3 things will show what we're doing. We're doing a lot of spring house cleaning. So if it's okay with you,
Okay.
we'll make the room. So they'll have most of the room. We'll keep what is the old jail room in just one little corner, and then they can have all the shelving. And Neil Westridge has been moving stuff in left and right, so it's going.
Okay.
But they'll have it.
Okay.
So given that, the first one is I need a motion to declare 2 stair chairs to be unneeded, obsolete, or unfit township property and have no fair market value and to be discarded.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved.
I need a motion to declare various old Motorola men or pagers and parts to be unneeded, obsolete township property with no fair market value and approve for them to be donated to the Drewsburg Fire Department in Indiana. They still use those old Menders. We don't. Besides the one Daryl has and some throughout, we don't use them anymore. We have the new G4s, so
Yeah.
we'd like to give them for parts for Drewsburg because we don't need them.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Hey, Chief, I just had a question on the chairs. Did we find anybody to donate those to?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't throw it away. I found somebody to take them.
Okay.
But they have no, because everybody's gone to motorized now, but there's always somebody that'll take something. So yeah, they didn't go in the garbage. They won't go in the garbage.
Okay.
Same with the menders. They just want the parts. They're not buying new menders, but parts are getting harder to find. The next one is a motion to declare various CPR education mannequins to be unneeded, obsolete township personal property, have no fair market value, approve them to be discarded. They won't be discarded if you approve it. They're going to go to a local church who's going to give some unofficial CPR. That's their business. But the mannequins that we need now to be CPR education has to have something called feedback. So as people push down, it has to give a light that you're giving it deep enough. These don't have it, but the church that wants them can use them for just some CPR public-only education.
Okay. So moved. Second.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Speaking of CPR, our next CPR class for the public is May 29th at 6:30. The cost has gone up because they raised the cost on us. I guess there's inflation even in CPR education, so it's $10, and they can register by contacting the station at 513-738-4513, or Captain Yon at jyon@morgantownship.org. If you call, they can give the email, but it'll be the 29th, and they'll get, it's for non-EMS personnel, but they will get certificates that they have EMS.
Is that a 2-hour class?
Yeah, 2 hours.
2 hours.
It's public for people who need it for any other reason, at least they have a card. And that cost with the card is $10.
Okay.
January through April response report. We continue to be busy. I thought it would slow down as the flu slowed down, but it's not. We're up 19 from last year with 185 responses, 42 for the month. Out the door time is still respectable, 1 minute and 46 seconds. We had 79 hours of continuing education provided to the crews, and we got 356 hours of training for the year. We continue to have smoke detector requests. We installed 4 Red Cross donated smoke detectors in April to 2 different families. And we are working currently on, since we got rid of the online policy manual, we're working on a paper and electronic policy manual that does not require use of that company. So that's almost finished. Captain Meyer's been working on that, but that's almost finished. And we provided 6 inspections for the month. And we made no transports for any other agencies. And that's it, unless you have questions of me.
Speaking on your employee manual,
Uh-huh.
our handbook, we need to get back on updating ours. So if you're going with a paper version, we may be able to incorporate a lot of yours. I mean, some of it's not applicable for our employees, but a lot of it is.
Yeah,
And just try to get back on. Because I know Amy had a question, one of the auditors asked about, I forget exactly what it was for, but anyway.
Vacation time
We
and
we did about 2/3 of it, we're
Yeah.
done, but we didn't approve any of it. So we didn't approve any of it as it was going, as we were going through, so I think we need to get back on that and get
Yeah,
that
because
updated.
there was a question I had to take to Tina about, was Easter a holiday? I knew it wasn't, but we didn't have it because we didn't have it, but she found it, but we found it, but you're right. It's these little obscure questions that come up. Part of our reason to get it together was the auditor's request. And it's completely legal because you pay for it, before we stopped the program, I downloaded every one that we had worked on. And now that's what our manual is now all the downloaded ones, and you can run it through Adobe and you can change them as much as you wish now. Because they're our property, that's the opportunity you get. So we made a paper one, and now we have an electronic copy on our desktops too, electronic, so.
Okay.
But yeah, it'd be a good idea, the ones that are in common, just.
Right, just
Get rid of-
re-adopt them
Yep.
for the township.
But our books, Captain Meyer spent about a day just getting them together, and we changed a couple already. We changed the uniform policy. I know you saw that come through. But we're still looking at them again to make sure they're exactly appropriate.
Okay. All right, we're going to switch up the agenda here a little bit. We're going to slip in the fiscal officer report because she needs to get something approved before we can go to the community park. So
Okay.
take a back seat.
I just have a few things. I need a motion for resolution to approve a PO to LCNB National Bank in the amount of $35,167.15 for the principal and interest payment on the Fire Station Improvement Bond Series 2019 out of Fund 2111, which $20,600 will be in principal and $14,567 in interest.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Cole?
Huff.
Oh,
Huff.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Motion approved. Also need a motion for resolution to approve adding Fund 2915 into the Revenue and Appropriations budget for 2025 and to deposit $5,000 into the fund that was received from the Ross Community Grant for the purchase of a water fountain.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved. And just on the audit, all items that Perry and Associates have asked for have been sent to them, and she's hoping to be finished by the end of this week.
Great.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, now we'll move to community park. Darren, got your
Okay.
mic on?
The mic is on. Mic check. I need a PO for the drinking fountain from Fund 2915 in the amount of $4,995.63. And that would be made out to Westwood Nelson.
So
So-
moved?
Second?
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved.
I'd also like you to amend PO 10-2025 from the amount of $49,237 to the amount of $4,000. Ventura is not gonna do the curb and shade piece of the playground. They couldn't get to it in ample time. So that's gonna lead me to the next PO I need from Fund 1000 for Rack and Blower.
Well, I need them to
Let's,
approve this.
okay,
one
let's
first.
amend
Sorry.
PO 10-2025 from $49,237 to $4,000 to Ventura. Get a second.
Is that your motion?
Yeah,
Second?
Mr. Brucker?
yes.
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, now I need a motion for a PO from Fund 1000 for the amount of $34,232.50 made out to Rack and Blower for the curbing and shade features for the playground.
So moved?
Second?
Mr. Kolb?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Motion approved.
So that's a savings of about $10,000.
Correct.
Yeah,
How-
good.
Was there another bid?
Yeah, Ventura, we just
Oh,
amended
that,
it.
from Jura. Okay.
And tomorrow, the survey company, Brumbar Engineering, is gonna lay out the playground for Rack and Blower. They came in at $1,850.
Are they connected to Alpha?
Yeah,
That's,
yes.
so, did we have a price before this?
We had one from RVP. for
RVP was like
2850. Not to exceed 2,500.
Okay, I thought it was
But
20.
they're familiar with it. They've done some layout here, so. They're
I
gonna
know,
do it.
right, I mean,
Right.
that's good that we made that connection. You got it on the, has a motion been made on that?
It's under 2,500. We don't need a PO,
Very good.
correct?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
We're good, right? Yep.
Okay. And then Mark and I went to Koenig last week and test drove the XUV 845 utility vehicle that has now been ordered and will be delivered within the next couple weeks. And that is going to be paid for with funds from a gift that's coming out of the Hamilton Community Fund.
Good.
The tree planting is done for
What
now.
does it look like? I'm just curious.
It's green. It's got a dump bed on it. It's got a
Oh, it's got a
roof.
dump bed, okay.
Yeah, dump bed, roof.
Hydraulic dump bed?
Two seat, I mean,
No,
one
it's a
seat-
manual dump bed at this time, but we can convert it to.
One seat across? or
Mark couldn't talk you.
It, 3 people could sit in it.
Okay.
It's not like you, Mark, not to get the hydraulic.
Well, the one that they have on.
The one
in stock
they,
doesn't have a-
yeah, it was kind of weird getting a quote for this thing, because they quoted us something that was undersized and they didn't even have, and that was from a person that's not even with the company anymore, so. The guy that's sold us everything else we have got involved and kind of got it straightened out. But it's a $900 ad if we make that a hydraulic bed, but I think for what we're gonna be doing, it might not be necessary. But it's 4-wheel drive, they can
That's
pull
what's
the
it.
water tank with it for watering the trees and spreading mulch. And we got a plow blade coming with it as well for,
Disc?
like, huh?
Snowplow.
No,
Disc?
snow plow.
You gonna farm it?
You said plow, huh? What are we gonna plow?
Because this year,
corn.
it's not a common practice for us to maintain the trail in the winter. but this year it was a month with snow on it. If you remember it, all that up and down we had with the, so if it gets like that, we'll knock it down. Good deal. So that should be coming in a couple weeks. The tree planting is done for now. They got all of 126 done, and the remainder of the trees that'll be blocking the radio tower building will go in after the playgrounds completed, because we got a lot of trucks that are gonna have to come in and out of there, so we don't wanna destroy anything.
Yeah.
So that's all I got on the park, unless you have some questions.
You said you were gonna have some trucks coming in and out of the playground area, right?
Yep.
Did we ever cut a concrete section into that blacktop so we don't have to impact that with the trucks?
That question means that you haven't walked that trail in a while.
I just didn't have my eyes open when I walked.
No, we
in.
haven't done it. But we're getting some road plates that'll
all right.
go over the top of it. But, yeah, we're coordinating that with Butler County and RAC Ballauer, so they can bring theirs if need be.
You know, I thought that was our long-term objective, though, to get crossover, hard points to cross over. So if you
Right, yeah.
bush hog the fields, you don't have to go over that blacktop when it's 115 degrees.
Right. I'll put it on the list.
Well, I guess it's really up to Mark. You know,
Yeah.
I think, Mark, you got it on.
This summer, maybe we can fit that in.
Yeah, okay.
Before you
That's
put
it.
in,
Anything else?
put pipes under in case we have to sleeve anything.
Right, that's great.
All right,
Trees look good, by the way.
The trees?
Kudos to,
Yeah, Bill and Ann did a nice job. I think they had one or two helpers, but I think they did most of it. They ate lunch under the pavilion one day. They said it was really nice. Said they had to put a brick on the sandwich though because
all right. Road Department, Mark?
And I do have a couple things on the park left. On April 6th, this
Oh, I
Friday,
forgot about
Brady
that.
from Soil and Water is coming out, and he's gonna show us what we need to excavate for the rain garden. And he said they're planning on putting the rain garden in May 21st, him and some volunteers. So I
Okay.
believe that's next week sometime.
Next Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another thing in the park, we've ran a water line from upstairs in our shop where there used to be a washing machine up there. And we ran it across the building over to the outside wall. So it's that far, so all we have to do once the fountain comes is trench over there and get it hooked up, so. And
Will
we
that
went
be-
down underneath the footer, so it'll be a true, I mean, it won't freeze. So we'll just have to winterize the water fountain and
Okay.
it'll be put in right. So then on the road department side, we put a new 12-inch culvert pipe under the entrance of Deer Cross Lane. They paid for all the supplies, the pipe and the gravel, and we just put it in. We cleaned out some roadside ditches on Weaver, Alert New London, Morgan Ross roads. We started mowing the roadsides last week, hope to finish by the end of next week. And we've been working some crack sealing in on Shangling Road. And just watering trees in the park and mowing and everything else. And I don't need any POs.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
thanks,
Mark.
Mark.
All right, zoning, Dale?
All right, certificates for the year. As you will see, we have two new homes coming into, one of them is going to be on State Line Road, and the other one is going to be down the road at 5022 Cincinnati Brookville Road. This new construction. So be so noted, and everything else in terms of the fire department, and everything else. Revenues, even though I don't show them on this particular paper, are pretty much in line with last year's at this time even. I just checked. Not that I super worried one way or the other. Revenue is what it is for the zoning regardless. The zoning commission's next meeting will be Wednesday, June the 4th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the administration building. But during the last meeting, which was just last week, the 7th, we discussed some very interesting things. We discussed to make a change in the acreage required in an agricultural one, along with increasing the road frontage. Our land use says that we must watch out for the number of driveways, egresses, and the number of driveways that we have within there to help maintain that ruralness. And I just want to state this, we are just looking at this right now. It's not in stone and won't be in stone until we bring something before you saying, this is what we'd like to do. That's for people out there. But we feel that maybe by increasing the agricultural one lot size and increasing the frontage will help sustain that and make less driveways through the area. And also feature the fact, and it would also help preserve the agricultural aspects of the township, so that if any other thing came along, say 4 or 5 or 6 lots, or 10 or whatever, they would have to come in and do a rezoning because they wouldn't fit into the agricultural. And that would be to what we call the agricultural residential piece, which is Chapter 7A, which has a few things that we'll have to adjust to make it a single lot or something like that too, in terms of all of those. But then they would fall back to the 3 acres and be a subdivision, more like.
So is that a BZA hearing, or is that
That's the
just zoning?
zoning. That would be a zoning hearing. If for a zoning change, a zoning hearing.
Okay,
Goes
and our
before.
zoning board does that hearing?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, because
yeah.
that hasn't happened much, right?
No, we've had it, I think, 2 times
Right.
since I've been here, and they were well, actually, no, 3 times, because the zoning department did a lot of rezoning in Shannon, okay, and also in Okeana in terms of business, and making it look more like of what it was being used for,
Okay.
all right? And you may see that a lot more coming up in the future too, around that, because we may take some of those. If you look at Clear Creek, that is zoned residential estate. And our thoughts is that we might be looking around for that. And then some of the smaller lots that are around the township that have been here for decades and stuff like that, that are only being used, they're too small to have any agricultural purposes on it. We may look to see that we change those to a residential piece, because that's what they're really being used for, as opposed to being farming and residential. But like I said, this is just beginning.
Okay.
We're not even to the point of saying that. We're inviting the business of Morgan Township to a meeting, and I believe that is in August, if I'm not mistaken. The reason why we want to see what zoning could help with the businesses here, and what can we do, maybe not necessarily change, but just how can we help them get further along. This is our chairman's idea of just letting them play, and not play, but I'm letting them run with this and go to see where it goes.
Are we still thinking about having them register their businesses?
Yes, we've been trying to do that for
I know.
over 2 years, and everything else. Most of those down there, I think, are registered. I'll have to check to see what is or isn't. As a footnote, we're also working on a requirement, regulations for having a fence around any swimming pool. Currently, it does say that, but we want to strengthen it a little bit. We're having a lot of people come in and say they want to have that walkable cover. And Butler County doesn't accept it, nor do we necessarily. We require the fence. And so that's what we're looking to work that up, so that it will always be the fence.
Usually the walkable covers are winter covers.
Yeah.
They don't put it on every day because it's a pain in the butt to put on.
Right.
No, they're talking about the electronic one, that you can open and close any time of the day. the guy that poured the concrete, he has one. And you just push a button and
Okay.
it's probably way more expensive than a fence.
But that still doesn't give you 24/7 protection.
Correct.
On an
Somebody
open
could fall
swimming
through
pool.
that.
Right,
I mean, it could be open.
Correct, correct.
Walk in.
they're supposed to be walkable, but if you leave it open,
But,
Right,
the
it's
fence
not.
has still gotta be there.
but that's a good argument, is that that's not gonna be a if that's open and you go in the house, it's not 24-hour protection.
Right.
In that respect, that's a good way to argue that too. Thank you.
Yes.
24 hours. A footnote to the May meeting and subsequent meetings, we will be streaming them live on YouTube. Okay, both the zoning and, then I'd like to talk about something I don't have in here, but I wrote for myself. I'd like to talk about the training that we're going to ask the BZA to go do, and how and what we can use to go training. My first question is, do we want to use speakers? If so, how much money can be allocated?
I think let's handle that on a case-by-case basis, bring in the proposal, and then we'll approve it instead
Okay.
of
All right.
just giving the blanket.
Because I know of the one that I want to do for the BZA is to have basically a lawyer come in and really speak to what happens in a meeting and everything else. Okay, so in that particular case, I'll put together the cost, whether it's Jack Grove or what it might be, Mr. Griggs from Columbus, okay, depending on the cost, trust me. Second then, the OTA has all of the zoning and BZA webinars up on their site. And I asked if we could make the two chairmen of the zoning and the BZA to be associate members of OTA, and therefore would fall under the ability to have a log on and then go up and see those training sessions. Now, I say the two chairs, but that would be a shareable piece between the zoning and then one between the BZA. In other words, it would be a log on that says BZA piece, but it would be under the chairman's name. Like if I log on now, I log on as zoning at morgantownship.org, but when it comes up, my name appears up in the corner, okay, and everything else, so that's what I'd like to do. Therefore, they could log in using that login, and there would be no cost after that. It would be the initial cost of the membership fees,
That's
which
like $40,
$40.
right?
For the two, and then after that, the fact that we can watch any of the webinars for free over the $250 we pay every year for the whole year, and everything.
So
else.
the chairman of each board or committee would share their log on with their members, and then they can log on. You're gonna log on once, or one, like,
As far as I can tell, I've not really tested it.
so.
I know Darren logs on with mine when you go up, don't you? He logs on with mine. I've never really tried to log in and then have him log in.
Try that and see, it just,
At the same time?
yeah.
We'll do that.
I don't know that it's gonna be an issue, but I think, I foresee that the zoning and the BZA will probably log in at a meeting and do it as a group session,
We could.
you know, because I think that would spark conversation and questions and things like that. When you're sitting there watching a webinar by yourself, you're probably doing something else, you know,
Yeah.
most people are.
Yeah. I understand.
But I think if it's a meeting, you know, they're gonna be more intent and,
Agree, if it is a meeting, but at the same time, we have the option.
right, they
of them doing it
can go back and watch it again or whatever.
And I'm putting together a step-by-step process around that, so they would get to see it.
I think that's a good idea. Get two associate memberships, and
Okay.
it's an $80 investment a year. That's not bad.
I make a motion to be able to buy 2 associate OTA memberships for the year for basic training to go to the zoning chair and the BZA chair under their names.
So moved.
He doesn't make the motion, does he, or does he make the motion?
Well, he could propose the
He
motion.
can propose it. I'll-
Let
I'll-
him-
Ask him for a motion.
I
I'll,
propose the motion.
yeah, so moved,
Yeah,
and then
Simon,
you can,
you want a second, Daryl?
Yeah.
You want to second it?
No, go ahead.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Brucker?
yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right, I'm trying to determine a date to have the White's variance hearing. This is a little bit, they're pressing me very, not hard, they're questioning why we don't have, but they have asked that there be 5 members, no matter what. The first dates I sent did not yield out having 5 members for one specific date. And then I sent out 2 more dates just today, and we'll see where they go from there before I have that, okay?
On that topic, have you had any conversation since our last meeting with Brian Balzer?
No, I have not,
Okay, I didn't know if he,
nope.
so we'll just table that still. Okay.
Yeah. And just as a side note, I'd like to think there are lots of things going on in the township that you may not know, but I have an interesting lot split that has come to my attention. The parcel has 2 parcel numbers due to the fact that a township section line splits the lot. This is at the bottom of Bell Road in Melville, Shandon. And so Jared Brosey, Eric Pottinger, and I will be looking into this very heavily as to whether or not it can happen or whether it has to come and be a variance, a use variance to the BZA. Because the way they want to do it is they want, where the section line is, it's split. There's 5 acres to the whole parcel, 2.5, 2.5, just about for each of the parcel numbers and everything else. There's currently 2 homes on it. All right?
Are you talking about Paynes or
No,
Stevenson
I'm
or
talking about Haddocks.
Haddocks? Yeah.
So wouldn't that already be a lot of record?
That's what I was thinking. Is it a lot of record? Therefore, can it be split? Why not? Why it could not be
I
split?
mean, it's got 2 parcel numbers already, right?
Yeah, it's got 2 parcel numbers. I can't understand why it just couldn't be split. But we'll see. And everything else.
Would that have to go before a BZA because it's less than 3 acres?
Yeah, because each one of them are less than 3 acres. That would make it before the BZA. I mean, that's the big issue right now.
Yeah.
Is to what to,
But it's already it's established. It's got 2
Yeah, it's
parcels,
2
numbers.
parcels
It's got
and
2 houses.
2
and
houses and
When was it,
1977.
so
It was platted in 1977.
so well before zoning,
Well
so it's
before zoning.
grandfathered?
I just think it probably could go ahead, but I want to
Yeah.
make sure legally. I don't want to, because what they're wanting to do, the gentleman who lives in the first house, the front house, he wants to buy the property. And then they want to sell the back house or whatever the Haddixes do in terms of the estate, settling the estate.
So if it wasn't that, if one of the parcel owners wanted to sell their parcel, they couldn't sell the 2.5 acres?
They don't own the parcels, the Haddix do.
It's a weird situation. How,
Yeah, I mean,
How
well,
did
I'm
it-
going to tell you.
are they
that's not the
family?
only-
Are they-
that's-
are they family?
No.
Did they split the lot off and a son or daughter or some family member?
No. Remember, the parcel numbers split the lot because of the section.
Right.
One's in 23 and one's in 24. And that's why you have 2 parcel numbers, because it'll read 24 and 23 right where the parcel number goes,
Right.
in the parcel number. So, I mean, it's a whole lot in the eye of Butler County, I think.
Okay.
We
You
That
don't
is
have
weird.
that situation
But the thing
anywhere
of it
else
is-
in the township?
The thing of it is, there are 6 more lots that are in the exact same situation on Bell Road as you come up the hill. Because that section line just crosses right through them.
So it goes north, south, no, east, west, going up the hill? Is that the way it's dividing it? It
Well-
has to. I mean,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're looking at the one, because I think the first house you see sits at the top of the hill, and it crosses right behind, okay?
Gotcha.
The section line crosses up there. And everything else too. Interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
my lot's got, or my property has two parcels because we're on a panhandle lot, so I have like a 10-foot easement out to
Easement.
Bell Road.
Mhm.
So I get, like $1.80 tax bill a year.
Tax for it. Yeah, I guess they get two tax bills for that too because of that, which is strange and weird.
That has some batteries.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so anything else possibly for me?
Thanks, Dale.
To Darren?
no.
2787 Bell Road, he's still working on cleaning that up. He gives me updates sporadically, we'll say. They're not weekly or bi-weekly. 6410 has pulled some, 6410 says, hey, Brookfield, we're still waiting on a date with the prosecutor, but he has moved some pieces of equipment out of there. 2601 Bell Road, I sent a letter last week. I spoke to him this morning. He's gonna move some things around. He wants my help getting him some scrap titles so he can get rid of some vehicles that are there that are inoperable. He's got a lot of reasons for why he has the stuff he has, but we'll leave that at that. 4871 Lehigh. I spoke last meeting about that one where the person's living in a shed claiming sovereign citizenship. Mary Ann Nardiello got back with me and she doesn't think that it warrants a administrative search warrant so we can go find out what's really going on. So I mailed them a letter and asked them to cease and desist the person living in the shed. It's a health hazard, a fire hazard. I'm waiting to hear back on that. And other than that, I'm always following up on current cases and current certificates from Dale. Any questions from me?
Nope.
Nope. Great. Thanks,
Thank
Darren.
you. All right. Daryl, do you have anything?
No.
Jeff?
Yes, I do have one thing. The 2025 recycling program has been, the schedules have been published by the Butler County Recycling and Solid Waste Program, and all the information I've pulled off the outdated information within the township office, the desk that we have out in the entry area, and put the new information out. But just three events that a lot of people might be interested in. It's the household hazard waste drop-off. There's three things. That's number one. And the second is a computer and TV drop-off. And then the third is the tire recycling event. So the household hazardous waste drop-off is going to be every Thursday from between July the 3rd and October 30th from 2 to 7 p.m. And that's up at the Republic Services at 3555 Yankee Road in Middletown. And the second one, as I had mentioned, the computer and TV drop-off. That's every Friday between July the 11th and October 31st from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. And that's at the Cohen Middletown facility at 3120 South Verity Parkway in Middletown. And the last thing is the tire recycling event. And that's Saturday, October 25th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and that's at the Butler County Fairgrounds. And I'm not sure if this is a change, but they are requiring a proof of Butler County residency to drop off anything. Example, if you have a driver's license, that suffices. So any questions, just let me know or refer to the documents that are out on the table. And Tom, I know you kind of keep the website updated on
Okay.
that information. So if you need a flyer
I'll take one with, and then we'll
Okay.
update it.
And I'll put it on our township Facebook page.
Okay, great.
Have we thought of sponsoring something like that in the township? Like
we
Crosby
could-
just did last weekend, I think it was.
Yeah,
They had, I don't know, 6 or 8 Rumpke roll-offs down at their park, and people could drive up, and they were taking tires and TVs and,
now they either paid for it or got Butler County to pay for that, so we'd have to work out that, or we could pay
I
for
mean,
it.
all those drop-off sites you mentioned,
I
pretty
know
far
they're-
away from here.
Yeah,
And it just
it's not
would
an option.
Create a hassle for.
Now,
for
Crosby's in
Morgantown.
Hamilton County, so they would have probably worked with Hamilton County. wouldn't
I've driven to that Middletown one, it's not that hard to get for the, I mean, it's just off 63, if you could, a little confusing to get there, but it is off 63. And they took everything I had that I had brought in terms of the hazardous material and everything, so, I mean, Cohen Cohen used to be over there in Hamilton, but Cohen to Middletown is not that bad either. I mean, if you
They used to
really
do
wanna
one
go-
at the high school.
Yeah, they used to do the
Yeah.
tires.
Do the
yeah.
tire, but they moved it to the fairgrounds because it was just too much
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, and they hauled in the tires too.
You know, the best idea is just to talk to the director up there and ask him that's come up in the meeting and see what she says, see if they can fund us for that.
Is that still in?
Yeah,
In Fear
and
Flag?
Fear Flag. So I'll follow up on that, have some information by next meeting.
Yeah, we could probably hold a inoperable vehicle one.
There's
Well,
a lot of money in scrap metal.
Ah,
We had a big
I know.
tire one, as I recall, something like, was it 162 tires or something like that? Down on Scott Street, remember?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I do.
Limit to 10 tires. That probably is something most people would want to know. 10
Yeah, that's new.
tires.
That's new. They'd never had a limit before.
Does it say on there if they're still taking tires with the rims on them, or do you have to have the rims off?
No, well, let me read what it says. It says accepted items, car, truck, tractor tires, tires with rims are accepted.
Tires with rims.
Because
Okay.
at first when they did that,
But
you
only
couldn't have the
10
rims
tires?
off.
10 tire limit per household.
Per household. I mean, I took
Yeah.
50 before.
Yeah, that was,
But again, it was different households, I
Right,
collected
you
everybody.
got a bunch of houses, don't you?
You growing them?
Or cleaning the neighborhood up.
Daryl Trump.
He's plowing it.
And that's all I have.
All right. I got a email from a Brenna Mingus, and she has a request to use the community center for her homeschool community. They want a meeting space for our learning pods, and the community center came highly recommended. We are hoping to inquire about the possibility of using your facilities once a week for approximately 2 to 3 hours. For those unfamiliar, a learning pod is a small group of homeschool families who collaborate and enhance their children's education. We typically engage in a variety of activities, including group projects, collaborative learning exercises, presentations, and social interaction opportunities that enrich the individual homeschool curricula. We believe that a learning pod offers several benefits to the children involved and by extension to our local community. It fosters socialization, providing crucial peer interaction and the development of social skills, collaboration, encouraging teamwork and the ability to learn from one another, diverse learning experiences, offering exposure to different teaching styles and areas of expertise among the participating parents, community building, strengthening connections among local families, and fostering a sense of belonging. We envision needing a space that could accommodate approximately 25 to 30 children, ideally with room for movement and potentially access to tables and chairs. We are flexible regarding the specific date and time, or day and time, and are happy to work with your scheduling constraints. We would be very grateful to be able to use the facility, and we would like to know what costs, if any, are associated with the space. So I responded to her and told her we were having a trustee meeting today and I would bring it up. We always donate the space to community activities, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, the senior luncheon, 4-H. This is a community group. However, homeschooling's getting very big. A lot of families are doing homeschooling, and like she's saying, they're home with the parents doing the homeschooling, so they're missing out on the teamwork and the socialization. So bringing the families together once a week and letting the kids interact with other children.
So any homeschooler in the township would be able to?
In the community, it would include Ross too,
And Ross too?
Any families that want to participate, it would be open to. She doesn't see it being more than 25 to 30 children, but, it could grow. So that was my question to the board is, do we want to consider this a community group and it would be no charge, or do we want to charge something just to offset our costs, because we do have to, pay Sandy to lock and unlock the doors and obviously Janice to clean. So make it not what we normally rent it for, but at least cover our costs. It is going to be once a week. Usually the community 4-H's, clubs, and Boy Scout, Girl Scouts is usually once a month.
This would be once a week, though?
Once a week.
Is this a township resident?
This is, yes.
Okay. And then we would have to set up tables and chairs every once a week. We'd have to do that.
Well, the tables and chairs are usually set up.
Always
We
set
don't take
up.
them down. It's just we'd have to clean, lock and unlock the door one extra time. So that's,
Well, we-
$20.
We could do a trial, like a.
That's what I
like
was
a
thinking.
5-6 month, just to see how it goes, to see, we'd love to be gracious enough to do this with no charge, but since this is a higher frequency and a larger number of people, it could mean things that we're not quite aware of right now. So, trial phase, I don't have any trouble.
Okay. Want to take it till like September, look at it in like 3 or 4 months,
Yeah.
let them have it at no charge right now, and see, and then reevaluate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably through the summer.
the no charge and possibility to be a charge is like you said.
Right, and I'll explain that to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we would,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if homeschool continues on or not.
And do they get any state funding?
I don't know. I'll
I
get that.
doubt it. Could be though, I guess. It depends on how organized.
People
they are.
get vouchers all the time for, if they don't like the public school they're associated with. They get state vouchers.
I know they've fought that fight for a long time to try to let the money follow the student. I don't know
They
if
call it the
they're there yet.
backpack act or something. Yeah.
So how much do, when we open and close?
It's $20 that we pay Sandy, and then probably an hour or so of Janice's time, which is 20-something. So I'd say $50 would cover it, our expenses. And that's what I was kind of leaning toward, is in like $50, $75 just to cover our expenses, which is a reduction of $250 because they're obviously going to need the back room. So they got room to move around.
So 50 to 75 each time
Yeah.
times 4 is going to what we were into it for a month.
Right. So we're, 200, 250 bucks, 300 maybe a month.
And we do it for the summer months, we're not out too much and we can reevaluate after the fact.
I'll tell her that we're trying on a trial basis, but down the road, it probably could, be a charge of about $50, $50 to $75 a week.
50 sounds good, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you making that motion?
We need a motion for that? We never made a motion that we were letting the community.
If you've never made one.
We'll make a motion if we do decide to charge, maybe.
Okay.
All right, okay. And then the other thing I had was just a reminder that we rescheduled next meeting, was scheduled for Monday, the 26th of May, which is Memorial Day. So we moved it to the Tuesday, and it'll be at 7 p.m., Tuesday the 27th.
I'm gonna be camping that weekend, and I think I should be back by Tuesday, but I don't know, okay? So
Okay, well,
I can call you from there or something,
Okay.
okay?
all right. Anything else?
Nope.
Carol, you got anything? Nope. All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Take a motion to adjourn?
And I will second.
Mr. Huff,
Yes.
Mr. Brucker,
Yes.
Mr. Cole.
Yes.
He was next, I'm sorry,
Yes.
Mr. Brucker.
Yes. We are adjourned at 10:51.
Motion approved. Oh, okay. Okay, so she did send you